let me talk now about a fundamental principle which is called vision. Now, you may have seen a lot of stuff around vision and mission, and you're probably all a bit fed up with it, and you're not too sure that it's not part of ideology and not so useful in business. The vision is often what I call focus. And focus is critically important for developing growth in a business. And it's about connecting to the similar customer. It's about replicating the same product. It's about using the customer to do referrals. It's this concept of not doing lots of things poorly, but doing one thing really well. And there are some great tests as to whether you've got this right. First of all, whether you can describe your business to someone who knows nothing about it in a couple of sentences. Now, you will be amazed at how appallingly bad people are in describing what they do, who they do it for, and why people buy from them. It's unbelievable. Cutler and I have sat through sessions where we've said to someone, give us your elevator pitch, give us your 2-minute explanation or your 1-minute explanation of who you are and what you do. And 20 minutes later, you know, because we just let them go because we want them to bury themselves, we've said, actually, we haven't got a clue what you do. You've talked about product and features and accessories and technology and why you're the greatest thing on the earth. But actually, you actually haven't told us about the problem you solve. And you haven't told us about who you solve it for. And you haven't told us about why you're the best at it. So all of this you have to condense into this small frame. Now, if you can't do it because you've got too many products and too many customers and too many solutions, you fail the focus test. Because if there's one thing that's going to stop you growing, it's doing too many things across too many markets for too many different customers, because you simply totally dissipate your energy. Now, once you get focus in what you do and what you do well, you get all those other benefits. You get the learning curve effect, you get economies of scale, you get referral sales, you get better at what you're doing, you can raise, you get price margins. So everything else follows from here. That's why it's so critically important. So, you ask the questions. I do these every time I meet with an entrepreneur, because I actually don't trust them to know what they do really well. Because often they're very close to their product or their technology or their marketplace, and often they actually miss the bit that actually has got the greatest traction. They fail to look at the problems they're solving rather than simply look at the great technology they have. They fail to identify the customer with the greatest compelling need rather than all the customers they have right now. So you start with these questions. What do you do really well? What has the least competition? What has the least price sensitivity? Which products are the easiest to sell? Which products have the highest price margins associated with them? So what this does is this tends to narrow down the products or the services or the customers or the channels you actually should be putting all your effort into. Now, if you've got far enough into the business to survive, this is the first thing you should do, because this is fundamental to growth. I had a product a number of years ago in process manufacturing enterprise resource planning. Financials all the way through sales and purchase order processing, inventory control, warehousing, all the way through production scheduling, capacity planning, and production works orders. And we were in process manufacturing, so we weren't in bicycles, but we were in consumer packaged goods, pizzas. And we had stumbled across a problem in process manufacturing which has to do with the variability of the product that you produce. Now, you know, when you produce a bicycle, every bicycle will come out identical. When you produce a pizza, every pizza that comes out will actually be different. And it's actually managing that variability, which is an essential part of being successful in consumer packaged goods. And the reason why there's variability is because the ingredients themselves and the environment in which you're working has slight variations. Temperature changes slightly, humidity changes slightly, acidity of product changes slightly, and so on. And we had worked out that what the manufacturers really wanted was to be able to look at a lot of ingredients and to be able to measure certain quality control characteristics in the lot. What's its acidity, what's its humidity, what's its granularity, what's its salinity, and so on. So we had built this into the definition of a product. So within the product, you could break it down into lots, and within the lots, you could see the quality characteristics in the lot. And then we took this into purchasing, so you could actually know what you're receiving, or you could specify what you wanted. We took it through manufacturing, so it would actually change the recipe depending on the quality characteristics. And we took it into sales, so you could actually buy something according to certain quality characteristics. Now, this was very complex to do, only applicable to a relatively tight but yet large global market, but it was too complex for the people in the general market to put into their software because you have to maintain it and sell it and so on. We would be at an exhibition, and you know how people at an exhibition, they sort of walk along in an exhibition and they always look down, and they don't look at you, because if they look at you, you might grab them and ask them a question. So they always look down, and they scan really quickly so they don't catch anyone's eye. Well, we had this word lot traceability up on our stand. People would go past and they'd be quickly scanning like this, and they'd see these words, and you could see them, they would turn around and they'd stare, and they'd come forward and they go, "Do you really have lot traceability?" And we say, "Come and have a look at this." And we had special inquiries built that would show the trace through orders and manufacturing. And they would go, "That's unbelievable. Would you mind if I just went and got a few of my colleagues?" And they would run around these huge exhibition floors, and they'd collect up 6 of their colleagues, and they'd bring them all back and they'd go, "Get a look at this." Now, is that a buying signal? Okay, because what they've done is they've now excluded all the competition. They're now excited because there's a really complex problem that is fundamental. The whole problem of recall is around traceability. So it's fundamental to their solution. And now they've found someone that not only has it, but actually understands about it and can talk to them about it. Okay? So this is the concept of focus. What really gets my customers up in the morning that connects to them, and this is what I need to do. Now, when you get into a situation like that, you don't go off and solve lots of other problems for other customers. You go, how many of these customers are out there? Where are they? Let's go do more. Because believe me, I've dramatically reduced my sales cycle. Fundamental problem, I can charge more. Ease of evaluation. Let's get case studies, stuff the case studies in front of them so they see other companies like them are doing this. And all of a sudden, your growth rate goes up dramatically. This product, which we produced starting back in 1987, we sold it to Ross Systems in 92. Ross Systems were acquired by China.com in the mid 90s. Let's see, 2000, mid 90s. This product today is still the leading product in specialty chemical manufacturing ERP systems in the world. Now, how's that for a product that was starting to design back in 87? Why? Because it had fundamental and unbelievable focus. But it's a great lesson for us to understand how that resonates and how that drives growth. So, what are your actions? Establish a vision for the company that everyone can relate to. Customers, suppliers, employees. And you should be able to test every element of your growth strategy against that vision. Does this support our vision or detract from it? It's fundamental. Always focus on a niche market. Once you've got some traction, focus on a niche market, you know, it'll dramatically improve your growth prospects. Again, test everything in your business: products, processes, recruitment, systems, channels, strategic partners against, you know, this vision, because it will drive growth. And then make sure that everyone understands what you do and who you do it for, so you're not getting mixed messages internally or externally.